My name is Kazi, and I am here to teach you what I know and stuff that I've taught myself. I've had a lot of people ask me all the time, hey, Kazi, can you create a YouTube channel? And now I'm just going to do it. And I'm also streaming on Facebook. So all of these platforms are pretty new for me as far as teaching Canva and what I know. So today's lesson, we are going to work on creating samples of 3D logos. So some of the logos that you might have seen out, you know, where you will see an object kind of coming out of a circle. So we're going to do a few of those, and hopefully this will be really great for anyone that's creating their own logos at home using Canva. You can also do these things on your cell phone as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Okay, so here we go. And let me go ahead and make it at a great size so that you can see me. Okay, so we're here inside Canva, and what we're going to do is we can go ahead and click on create a design. I can go from logo to whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch creating a logo. And so, what I would like for my viewers to do is email me at kazi.learn@gmail.com because I would like to, create designs based off of viewers' choice. So let's go ahead and go into the logo. Okay, so when you go ahead and click on logo within Canva, if you're using your mobile device is going to ask you if you want a blank screen. Automatically, if you're using a desktop, which that's what I'm using right now, you're going to be prompted with a blank screen on to the right, and then you'll have a lot of different samples available. And there's a lot of samples that I recently used. And so sometimes when I use these logo templates, I like to use them in a way that I can manipulate and use them differently than just the design. Because what I would not want students watching this video to do is to just go ahead and change the wording on the logo, and then your logo looks exactly like what is in Canva. So you still want to kind of, make it a little bit unique. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 3D logo for a trucking company, and I'm just going to make up a name. So I'm going to go ahead and place in the text, and they have these brand kit texts, and these are ones that I can upload my own fonts. And then also Canva has a few other like texts that you can just grab. And so what I'm going to do is, because let's say it's trucking, so trucks are kind of strong vehicles. So I'm going to go with this one. Uh, and what I'm going to do is, you see this option that asks you to ungroup it. So I'm just going to go ahead and ungroup it. I'm going to get rid of this. And then what I'm going to do is change the alignment so that it is all aligned to the left. So let me go ahead and put, so I'm just going to make a logo for a truck stop. I'm going to call this, and I'm going to have this as a truck stop, and I'm going to actually bring this over, actually keep that to the center. And I'm going to call this Mike's truck stop. So what I'm going to do is kind of scooch in the sides. So if you're wondering how I did that, what I did was I took my mouse, I clicked on the object that I'm looking for, and then you'll see these white little bubbles on the right, on the corners of each of the object. Those will allow you to make the font smaller and larger. So you can make it smaller and larger, or if you want to, sometimes it's like the negative space that's on the side, so sometimes it can interfere with your design. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this in like this, okay? I'm going to increase the size there, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this a bit like this. Okay, because I kind of like that font. Now I'm going to take my negative space here and bring that in. I'm going to select these by taking my mouse and selecting both of them by dragging over it, selecting and dragging. And then I'm going to pull these over to the right. So I'm going to change the color of mic. And how I want to do that is I want to go ahead and click on mic and then click on this here where it says text color. Click that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull a color. And I was looking at marketing colors this week, and they were saying that for trucks, colors that are great for trucking logos are red, green, blue, some other colors, but those are the ones I can remember right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take this truck stop, and I do want to decrease the distance between truck and stop. So I selected truck and stop by clicking on it, and then I'm going to go over here to spacing. And what I'm going to do is click on line spacing because each word is on a separate line versus letter spacing is the space in between the letters. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and bring those a little bit closer like that. And because maybe I want to be patriotic or something like that, I'm going to go ahead and click on truck, and I'm going to do like a red, white, and blue type situation. Like, okay, so here we go, Mike's truck stop. All right, so now let's go into the 3D logo thing that you came here to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in Canva, if you go into the left area where I'm clicking on, which is called elements, elements have these objects that are called lines and shapes. And also they have also frames. So I'm going to be using lines and shapes and frames. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this circle here. And it's about the same size as everything. So I'm just going to pull it up a little bit so that it matches the sizing of the top of Mike and the bottom of S. So you see that, how it's there? So then what I'm going to do is kind of bring this over a bit here. I'm going to change the color of this to blue. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my elements and I'm going to scroll down and go to frames. Now this frame happens to be a lot bigger than what I'm doing. So I could take the transparency down from 100 to about 75. Basically just as much as you, so that you can see right through your object. Because what I want to do is I want to create a border around the image. These frames are really, really great because you can place any image inside of the frame. You don't have to worry about photoshopping it into a circle. When I used to use Canva when it first came out, I used to have to take things, make them into a circle and Photoshop it and bring those circles back into Canva. Now I don't have to do that anymore. I could just use these frames and it keeps whatever I'm working with within the frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring that transparency back up to 100 because I don't want my any picture that I'm going to be working with to not fall into the frame. So what I'm going to do is sometimes when you're picking elements, and I'm going to just choose an element. So we're going to go ahead and type in truck. Okay. And what I want is that it looks like my truck. And I'm going to select all this because I'm going to move this over a bit because I want some of my truck to be in the inside of the circle, and I want a little bit of my truck kind of sticking out of the outside of the circle. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and let me find a truck. Let's see here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this truck and place it here. And sometimes some of these objects work and sometimes they don't. So this one doesn't seem to be working. So let's take a look at this one. And I believe like they have to be an image, and that probably wasn't an image. So sometimes you'll have to play around. So let's go ahead and grab. So it looks like that's an image. So you see how when you place it on the canvas, you can see that it changes the entire background. We don't want that. So I'm keeping my finger still selected on the truck because if I didn't, then it will stay there, and then I'll have to actually press delete with the background. So what I want to do is put my finger on the mouse, select that, drag it over, and I'm dragging it in here to this. Okay. So our truck is inside. And what I want to do is I want to move it over a bit, because what I want this to look like when I'm done is I want some of the truck to be inside of the circle and the other part of the truck to be on the outside of it. So if you see here, you can kind of see what I would like my end results to be. Okay, because I want to show movement. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to lock this, because if you don't lock it, what's going to happen is every time you try to drag something close to the circle, it's going to automatically want to change it. So like it's going to automatically want to change it again. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that that's locked. So to do that, I take my cursor and I drag around just the object that I want. And then what I want to do is go ahead and lock it so that it doesn't move, like nothing can happen. It's not going to be manipulated. And so then I'm just going to go ahead and bring this in. So what I want to do is take my transparency and bring it all the way down. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag this down like this. And what I'm trying to do is match it to the truck. Okay. It seems like I've done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and it's not matching 100% though. I need to bring that down. Yes. Keep going. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. So let me come in just a bit so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm trying to line it up. And you see like it looks a little blurry, so that we know that it's not lining up. So I'm taking my finger and kind of going ahead and moving it. So you see how it looks blurry now? And then when I move it, I can see the truck. It looks seamless now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my opacity and bring it up. And now it looks like the truck is coming out of the circle. And then to do some finishing touches with it, I'm going to go ahead and add some shadow. So I'm going to go to shadow. I'm going to bring this down so I can put a shadow underneath the tire. Give it some dimension. Going to take the same shadow, Control C, Control V. I'm going to bring it over here and I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit. Decrease the sizing of the shadow a bit. Okay. So here we go. We have our first 3D logo. Yay. Oh my gosh. So now what I can do here is I can unlock this, but I'll end up have to unlock everyone. So in order to do this really good, let me click on here. I'm gonna click on position. And Canva has this new thing where before I used to have to guess where everything was layered on top of each other. They have this thing called layers. So I can go ahead and click on layers and I can see exactly where everything is and see what's still locked. So I'm just going to go ahead and unlock that. Now we see that none of our layers have a lock on it. So what I can do is just go ahead and select everything. If I'm pleased with the, everything with that, I'm going to go ahead and press Control G. Just going to scooch this down a bit so it's more in the center of the page. And we see those lines letting us know that everything is centered properly. And now I want to make a version that's going to be, this is good for if we're going to have a white background, but if we're going to have a darker background or black background, I want to have another colorway. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 pages. And all I did was, if you click on a page, you can click here to duplicate page that way, or you can go here where it says duplicate right on the page, and then it will duplicate the page. So I've duplicated the page. And the main thing that I want to do is I want to make this truck stop white, because that's what's going, when it gets inverted, if it's on a dark background, it's not going to be as visible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and press, I'm going to make this black, and voila, we have our background. But this truck color, I think I want to lighten it up a bit because it doesn't show up that much. So what I want to do is I can go to add new color. It's already selecting this color. It's the color that we're currently using. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the color up just a bit so that it's more visible. And so that color is going to be 225584. Okay. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just click on that circle and I'm going to select that color because that's a 225584, which is different than what we had before, which is 003B71. You don't have to memorize all these numbers, but automatically when you create a new color in your palette, Canva already creates an area which is called the document colors. So whatever colors that you're using in the document will appear right in this section. That's what I love about this software. So we see that that is good to go. So now let's just take a look at these in grid view, and we can see that we have both of our logos. We have a dark version and a light version. So now let's do a beauty logo. So let's go, for those of you who are here and you might be in the beauty industry and you want to do something fun. So let's do another idea. So this time I'm going to start off with dark. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this light shadow. I'm going to use this ellipse as well. And actually, let me turn this ellipse. Not all objects in Canva allow you to change the color of them, but this one, in order to know that you can change the color, and I just pulled this from shadows, this one appears to be a gray color, and that's why it's blending into the black. And I can change the color to white, so now it's a lot more visible. Okay, and then maybe I'm just going to keep this one like this for now. Keep that gray there. Okay, so I have these placed on top of each other. What I'm going to do is go back to my objects that I had before, and I'm going to click here. So I'm going to make a beauty logo. And I'm just going to call this the Botox Queen. So let's go ahead and click on, let me find a gold color. So I'm just going to go to yellow, and then I'm just going to go here, and I can go look for gold like online by looking at what is the hex color for gold. Let me put, what is the hex color for gold? Okay, the hex color for gold is FFD 700, but I think there's so many different golds. So let me do metallic gold. That's the one I want. DF, so this is it. So let me go back here, and what I'm going to do is if I find the hex color online, I could just go ahead and copy it there, and it's going to place it into Canva, which is awesome. I love that. So what I'm going to do is, as we did before, I'm going to go ahead and grab a frame. And once you get better at this, you see how I could just place it right on top, and I kind of eyeballed that. You get really good at it, okay? And you can see how big it is. And if you just want to double check, you can always take the transparency down just to make sure that that circle is overlapping right in that area. So what I want to do is I'm going to go over to elements, and I'm going to go over to, and actually, let me bring this down like this. Do the same thing that I did with the truck. And let me put Botox. Okay, so let me go to elements. And sometimes it's going to give you everything like graphics, photos, graphics, video. I'm only looking for graphics. So I'm going to click on graphics, and I'm going to see what I can find. And let's see here. So that's not going to work because you see how that's not turning it into an image. So that's not going to work. So let's see what happens here. Nope, this is an object as well. So let's see. This one might be a little bit tricky because I have to do some research and trying to find stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good while you're watching this video. Like I said, a lot of people have been asking me to like teach some classes online, and I was like, okay, so just got a little motivated, and I think I'm gonna do a class a day if I can. I mean, that's kind of doing a lot, but I think I could do it, especially if you guys are sending me emails and saying that you're interested in seeing, X, Y, and Z. So let's see what I got. I think, let's see here. I might not be as successful as I was before. So let's do something else. So let me go ahead and go and let me do Botox again. Or just let me put beauty. And I'm actually gonna use a photo. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this woman in. Let me see if I can find a woman without a background, because that's actually what I want. So let me show you a trick. So if I can't find a model that I'm looking for without a background, this is what I do. I'm going to go ahead and bring this model in. I want to make sure that I do not cut off her, like make her flush, because if I make her all the way flush with the shape, I won't be able to remove just her background. So what I want to do is have just the curve of her bottom, like where her arms are, I want that to be curved, and her head kind of stick it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the background. I'm going to click on edit photo. And if you have a pro account, some of the things that I'm doing, you won't be able to do if you don't have a pro account. And I'm not saying to sign up for Canva, but without signing up for Canva, you will not have a lot of the features that I'm using. So if you see the words pro on here, I'm paying $12.99 a month in order to be able to manipulate and do all the stuff that I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press edit remove. And I haven't used magic edit, so I'm probably doing a workaround that is already available. So I apologize in advance if any of you that are Canva gurus um you know have another way of doing what I'm about to do, but I'm going to do this little step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just download this image, and I'm going to go to transparent, and I want to make sure I select only the page that I want to download, which is going to be her. And I'm going to download that. Okay. Then I'm going to bring it right back into Canva. And I made sure that it was transparent. I hope I did. Anyway, let me see if I did that. Download. Transparent. Just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to try it again. So I don't want to go through those steps and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I did. And I work so fast sometimes I don't remember what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on upload files. I'm going to go to downloads, and then I'm going to go ahead and import this image here. Let me get rid of this. So this could be cool for those of you who you want to use your photo in there. So I'm going to go ahead and drag her in here. I'm actually going to make her bigger. Like this. So you see, this is the goal of what I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to have her like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring her back in here. I'm going to take the transparency down a little bit. Oops. And guess what? You know that step I told you guys? That was what happened. You see that? It was trying to jump in that space, and we don't want that to happen. Let me bring this down a bit. Opacity down. So let me go to position, make sure I'm touching the right one that I want to bring down. Actually, let me get rid of that one because it's not really serving any purpose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lock these. So I'm going to just go ahead and lock them because I don't want anything to change. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and bring her over. I'm going to keep playing with the sizing so that she fits right over the other one. Still kind of a little bit of a blur, so it looks like it's not 100%. Okay. All right. So now what I can do, looks like I'm almost there. She was not that blurry. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom in a bit because I can see a little better. Okay, so you see how it's kind of there, but not really. And let me bring this over. Mm, 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 mm. All right, got it. Okay, so now because her body is going to be visible anyway. So what I want to do is I want to crop her all the way in because her shoulders her shoulders and stuff are already there. So all I need is just the top of her head. You see that? So before, like, I don't need all this other stuff. Oops. I don't need all this. All I need is just this because that's the part that is chopped. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and select that and bring the transparency back up. And voila, her head is sticking out of the little thingy. It's 3D. And then let me go ahead and grab a crown. Oops, I put crow. Let's see. Does this, do I think this crown is going to work? Oh, let's see here. Let me come in a bit. Let's see. Let me go to edit photo and see what I get. So magic edit. It says try it out. I've never used it yet. So let's see. I'm going to go to magic edit and get rid of all this and see what happens. Sometimes when I'm doing tutorials, I'm like, because they make so many updates with Canva and I think it's amazing. So sometimes, like when I'm teaching a class, I'm like checking things out, like with the students, and it's like super fun. Okay, I want to make sure I get this little piece right there. And if your hand's not steady, you can just like try to do it again. So let me go to continue and see what happens. Uh, hmm. It wants me to do stuff? What is this cloud stuff? I don't want any clouds right there. Maybe this is not what I'm looking for. Well, nope, that's not what I'm looking for, but something great for another day. So I'm going to have to play with that and see what that's about. So let me go more to the tools and maybe it's not going to give me what I need. I mean, that's okay, but it's not 100% amazing. Nope, I'm going to look for another crown. So let's look for another crown. I just wanted to get like something like cute. Oh, I like this. So let me go to edit photo and remove the background of that. Ooh, that is nice. So let me scooch back a bit. So basically I took, ooh, that's cute. Let me tilt it a bit. Wow, I love that. I actually want this crown now. Okay, so now I'm going to, let me go to position so I can make sure that all this is unlocked. so I can move it around. But I do want to group this together because I don't want any of the layers here I want them to stick around together while I move things around. So I'm just going to move this down here. Okay. So got my little queen. And so now I'm going to go ahead and get some text. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to find, you know what? Sometimes I just go with the regular text and I place it in here and then I see what's going to work. So I'm going to do this and copy Control C, Control V. I'm going to turn both of these to white so that they're visible because we can't see them right now. So I'm going to go to call this Botox Queen. And of course, I do not like this font at all. We'll call it Control A, B, Botox Queen. Let me go ahead and just scooch this down a bit. Let me get smaller. So I'm going to first start off with my Botox. If you do have an account that you're paying for, which is $12.99 a month, then you have the ability to get fonts from different websites. The website I love is defont.com. Defont.com is great, but just make sure that you do have permission to use those fonts, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look at what they do have available. And how you find your fonts is when you select the font, you go here where it has the font name, and then you can select what they have available in here. So what I'm going to do is, I think I used this one before, so let me see how this looks. Nope. And actually, maybe I want to do with lowercase. Okay. So let me go ahead and look for another font that might work better. Just keep going and seeing what's there. Let's see. I mean, because fonts always make a difference with what you're working on. And this is a demo font here, so I'm just going to use this real quick. I don't have the one on hand for High Tide that I paid for, but this is the demo font. So make sure that when you're using a font that you have permission to use it so that the author of that font, doesn't, reach out to you and, try to figure things out. So let me go ahead. So the fonts that are here within the software, they're fine. Also, Canva has a way that if you use a font, they can change all the fonts. So if you've done different things on different pages and stuff, you could do a change all, then it changes that. So I'm going to continue working and trying to find another font. I think I want to do something that's a little bit like thin. Sarabi. Let me do this Code Pro. You know what? Let me change the spacing, the line spacing, and I think that's what I want to see. Something like I want the words to be, the letters to be spaced out a bit. And then with the Queen, let me find something. Let's go look. Okay, I like that. And I'm going to change this color to this gold. And then I have my logo, the Botox Queen. So now I'm going to invert this so that we have let me put the Botox Queen. And then I have the Botox kind of like over the lady a bit. And let me see if I could do a little effect on here so I can create a little bit of a shadow. So let me go there to create a little bit of a shadow and do intensity a bit. No, we'll do this lift. I think that one is probably better. Okay. So here's my logo. And let's say if that is the actual like Dr. RN or nurse practitioner or PA, and this is their logo, then they can go ahead and do that. And so the Botox Queen. So now let's go ahead and make a white background version. So I'm going to go ahead and take these two here, turn these into black. And then I'm just going to change the background, turn it into white. And I have a logo option for my black and white version. So I am all set, but I want to do something one time. I want to do something else. So let's say if we're doing something that's a circle for like a YouTube channel. This is what I would do. I would take all this together and then go like this, and then I have like another option. Okay? So to be for my, Instagram, something like that. Yeah, so this is a stacked version versus the other one um, being a flat version. I'm just going to scooch this out just a bit. And here we go. So those are my two 3D logo designs. One for, Botox Queen, or if it's like, and then I have a truck stop. So this is just how we are going to not use Photoshop at all, just use 100% Canva to create, different things. One for truck stop and Botox Queen. So, let me know basically if you are looking to share anything. I would love to, answer more questions and different things like that, because, working in this software, there's a lot that you can do, and a lot of things I've kind of learned along the way. So let me just go ahead and grab my my email address, and put it on the screen. So give me 1 second. You go ahead and do that. So here it is. So that's my email address. And if you have any ideas that you would like me to do using Canva, that will help me like really tailor my online lectures to fit what you're looking to see. And I will chat with you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye.